For those who don't know me, my name is Keely. I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you for joining me. We are going to do another vlog where I take you along on my work week. I will try not to make this one as super long as they have been lately, but I can't promise anything. We'll see how we go. It's Monday morning. It's dull, grey, overcast. I've got my washing on. I'm going to put it in the tumble dryer. I know tumble drying is not any good for your clothes. However, all my clothes are too big for me, and putting it through the tumble dryer shrinks them, so they actually then fit for the week. So that's one thing I'm doing. I am actually now just going through. I didn't get a chance on the weekend to schedule all my social media, so I am doing that right now. Also going through my website, just doing a little bit of fixing up. We've now come out of winter, so I've been taking away things on my website. Down the bottom I usually have my winter essentials. I just changed over to summer essentials, and I've also noticed I've got this winter delights here. I need to take this off of here, get all of that website fixed up so it makes a little bit more sense. I'm using Canva to plan out all my social media posts for the week. This just means that I'm not constantly sitting on social media getting distracted, and it sounds terrible, but it does waste a lot of time, because then you start sitting watching all these really cute pictures of puppies and drooling over soaps people have been making and stuff. So I try to do all my scheduling so that I'm on social media as little as possible. So I really do find that Canva helps me do that. So I'm going to get that done. I have a bit of accounting stuff to do. We're halfway through September, well, almost halfway. It's the 12th of September today. So we're getting close to the end of the month, which means for me here in Australia, I'm registered for GST, which is a tax that we have to pay once you hit certain thresholds. It means at the end of this month I will actually need to submit one of my tax reports, so I need to start making sure all of my accounting stuff is fully up to date. I try to do it at least once a week, but I have been a little bit lax for the last couple of weeks. I've got a fair bit to actually upload into there. I then actually need to clean this office space up. It's kind of become a dumping ground again, and I actually want to get it cleaned up so I can start thinking. I've got to do a post office run today. I've got some photos to do as well. Hubby is at work, so I'm going to take advantage of that and get as much as I possibly can done this morning. He's got tomorrow off, so we'll go off and do a few things then. So I'm going to finish. I've still got 3 more posts to do for the week. These are all the afternoon posts I'm going to do. I also need to edit a couple of videos for you guys for later on as well. So going to get back into this, and I hope you enjoy coming along with me this week. Okay, so I have now got all of my social media planned for this week. I have just been doing a little bit of changing around on the website, so I've taken out any of the stock that has been sold out. I have removed some of the information that is no longer relevant, like retired fragrances and things like that. It's a really good thing to do if you are running a business and you have got a website. It is so easy to set your website up and then just kind of forget about it and just jump on when you get orders. And so many people forget to do little changes on their website. And one of the reasons you really do want to try and remember to do this, especially if you're not someone who does a monthly release and you only release new products every couple of months, you need to actually jump on your website and start doing things, because Google is always watching. So it's not only watching what customers are doing on your website, how long they spend there and things like that, it's also watching how often you're updating your website. And if it feels that you're actually not maintaining or updating your website, it will kind of get that, the bots will say that it's not a active website, whereas if it sees that you're constantly changing pictures, adding new products, making amendments, keeping it fresh and updated, it says, hey, this person is in business, they are active, let's push it up the search ranking. So it's really important if you have got a business, even if it is things like going in, if you've spotted that there was a spelling mistake, go in and go and fix it, and Google actually sees that as interaction on your website. So I try to get on there at least once every week and go and change things, whether that is moving a product into a different category where I think it's probably more suited, or you know, making simple changes like removing old information. So it's something I try and do weekly, and just to keep me up on those search results. I've got my heater going on down here because it has dropped quite cool. Now I've done all that, I'm going to have a little bit of a break from the computer, so I'm going to go run around to the post office. I have an order for Miss Boo, who has ordered off the Pimp My Soap website. I'm going to go and get hers in the post, and hopefully when I get back I might have some deliveries at my door as well. So I was just about to head out to the post office, and look what's arrived. Let's get this inside. That one's obviously been through the wars. Okay, so Lucy's giving this one her seal of approval, but I'm really hoping that I have got something in there to say why this has obviously been split open. Hopefully it's just been inspected by someone along the way. But we'll find out, and I want to know before I go to the post office. So let's have a look. That's clearly been split open by someone, because this tape is pretty hard to break. Oh good, they are actually in individual boxes as well. That did a lot of good. Alright, so I have no idea why this box has been opened. Doesn't appear to be anything missing in it, because these boxes are actually full by the looks of things. These are some 250 gram jars. Now I don't normally buy my jars from off of Amazon. I have a supplier that I go to, but I need to purchase 1,000 at a time, and I really didn't want 1,000 of them. And most of our other suppliers, like Heirloom Body Care, there's a few other New Directions and all of those, they're 250 gram jars of these short things, and I really wanted tall ones because they're so much easier to label. You can get more on your label without squishing it. So I wanted the tall jars, and the only place I could find tall 250 gram jars where I didn't need to buy 1,000 of them was on Amazon. So I purchased those ones. They came with these silly little stickers as well. I might find another use for those. But now that I'm satisfied that this box is okay and nothing has been damaged, I am going to go down to the post office. I'm going to take Boo's parcel with me, and then when we come back we'll open up these parcels. Oh, and that's what I need to show you guys as well. In the last vlog I spoke about the fact that we were getting floors done and I'm doing the wardrobe. Excuse the mess on the table, it's almost our clean day. We do it usually on a Monday or Tuesday, but this is our new flooring in our house and we absolutely love it. Lucy Lou hates it, so we've got a towel down here because her poor feet can't grip onto it. She's fallen off the sofa a few times getting off, and that's her other little rug to sit on when we put a lead on in the morning. But this is our new flooring. This was all this disgusting carpet you would have seen in previous vlogs that I've done, but this is the new flooring. When I get back from the post office and we've opened them, I'll show you what I did with our wardrobe too. Alright, so I am back and it's time to open up these parcels. I'll save this one until afterwards. So, on to the next parcel. I'm super excited for this one. Let's get it open. Oh, it's been stickied down. Well, oh, it smells really good. I've just got this burst of fragrance come out of the box. Smells absolutely wonderful. Oh, look, look, look. How cute's that? Some of you may recognise that one already. And this from Lovely Llama. What she's got, oh, okay. It's really cute. Oh, well, that's a really cute little card, a little product information card to go with it. I really like that. Let's have a look-see and see what we've got. Now, Davina from Lovely Llama, she has been buying the Pimp My Soap soap dough, and she was the one that actually won the soap dough that I was giving away when I first launched, and when I saw the soap that she created with the soap dough, I knew I had to have it. So I had to put, oh my goodness, I had to put an order in because it is just so super cute. And I will get it out first to show you how absolutely gorgeous is that little creature. That would have been made, I think it was the grape that I included in the little giveaway pack. It is so super cute, and the color's amazing. It smells really nice as well. Now what I will do, I'm going to be one of those people, it's not going to get used. I've actually got a shelf in my bathroom where I have all these sort of really beautiful soap creations. So what I'll be doing this week is I will actually take it into my shop and I will wrap it in the biodegradable film just to protect it from all the dust and things, and that's going to sit on my shelf. But I do plan on using these other ones that I got from her. This one sounded really nice. This one was Free Spirit. And that is absolutely gorgeous. All those little details. And again, she's made that using all of Pimp My soap dough. Really, really cute. Oh, smells amazing. We've got, I really liked the sound of this. I've got a camel milk and honey. It's just a very simple soap, guys. Oh, there'll be no problem using that. But it does sound really, really nice. It's got the camel milk. We've got coconut cream, colloidal oatmeal, Australian clay, coconut milk powder, honey. Oh, and it just smells so good. I will also put in this one. This is Smoothie Bowl. How cute is the top of that? It's absolutely gorgeous. And again, we've got some beautiful swirls going through there. Smells really nice as well. And then this one sounds really good. I make an avocado bar, but this one sounded really good. So we've got avocado and sea salt, and it has got the cocoa butter. We've got coconut cream, avocado puree, fresh green clay, coconut milk powder, Himalayan salt, and then all the other oils that she uses to make her soap bars as well. And it just sounded absolutely beautiful. Love the colors as well. So I'm looking forward to using those. But as I said, I'm going to be one of them. This one's not getting used. It will get wrapped up and go onto my shelf, but that is so super cute. It's going to go well on my little shelf of soaps downstairs. Talking to downstairs, we'll go downstairs. I'll show you what we did in our wardrobe, and I'm going to email these guys and find out where my missing stuff is. So here's the shelf I was talking about with all these soaps on, and some of them I have purchased, some I have had sent to me. I have got my Print Me Pretty scrunchie and my one from Wickedly Goods on here for when my hair gets long again. I have got a couple of my own soaps on here. I kept one of those ducky soaps. This was the start of when I did the soap dough, so I did keep one of those, and I've kept myself a gin martini because I love that fragrance. We've got one here from Lovely Llama. She does beautiful work, so when she does these ones I do tend to try and get them. I've got some up here. We've got Dawn Organic. We've got some, this was Gypsy Faye creation, now known as Luna Faye. Never been able to use it because I know I'll never be able to afford to actually replenish any of hers on my shelf. We've got some from Tamara Jane. I've got quite a few from her. Some of them I will actually use. I'll probably end up using the Japanese inspired one up there. Got one of her glycerin hybrid soaps. We've got some from Mooberry Melt some more. I will be using those too once I get through what's in my shower, but I did keep this one that I got from her. This was one of her very first cold processed soaps that she ever made, and I'd given her a few little tips and tricks and suggested she make it with black raspberry, and love how it all came out. I do have a Washpool salt bar soap in there because I absolutely love that one as well. But that is my little collection of soaps, and there's a drawer down here. I'm not going to show you in there because it's a mess, but I've got lots more Dawn Organic ones in there, and I've been using his soaps and they are absolutely amazing. So that's my little collection. And this is our wardrobe that we were working on. Super happy. Love the floors in here. This was just an IKEA sort of shelving set. My husband doesn't really use much space, but we figured we have to actually design it for future if we ever sold the place. So he's got plenty of storage, and then I've got all my storage in here. And look, I can even hang dresses up because we've got that little gap in there. Absolutely love how this has all turned out for us. It was a real bugger putting together 14 of those drawers, but it was all done and it's all looking really good. And I did mismeasure how high the wardrobe was going to go. I thought I'd have a bigger gap, so I actually really didn't need to do as much painting as we did do, but it's looking good. Really happy with it. So I'm going to head into my office. I'm going to email this love Luna and find out what's going on there. And then I have got some accounting work to do. It's a bit grotty, so I'm going to throw it out, but luckily I've got a new mat arriving this week. So for those that ask, I do still use my Rocket Fusion notebook. If you don't know what this is, it is a reusable notebook where you can write things down on the special paper on the inside using a friction pen, and when you're done you can either scan it up to the cloud if you want to, and then wipe it down with some water and it cleans the pages off, ready to be used again. And this thing has saved me so much money in paper notebooks. Now I do still use paper notebooks as well as this one, so what I use my Rocket Fusion for is to put down all of the notes that I don't need to keep for any extended period of time. I don't need to keep referencing them back. So ideas that pop into my head, things I need to tell people, that sort of stuff gets noted down in here, and once it's done I wash it off. So it's like a giant whiteboard really. I do still use paper books when I need to do things that I want to keep or reference back. So if I'm doing some research on an ingredient, I'll write that down on paper so that I have got that to keep referring back to. But I do still use my Rocket book. So I've given my desk a really good clean up, at least on this half of the room. My phone's going off, it's distracting me. I have this pile of stuff that's been sitting on my desk for ages. I need to go and find some homes for it. That might go down the shop, so I'll use it. Got all these warranty things. Pretty sure that one is actually out of date. I'll go and put the others away. Got some books and things that also need to go away too. So that's a handy one. That one's got all letters in it. Don't know what I've bought that for. Would have been for something. That'll be handy for something or other. So I'm going to go put all this away, and then in about 5 minutes I have got a live with my patrons, and I'm going to go and check to see if my washing has actually dried in the tumble dryer.
Hi duckies! I haven't got anything, I'm sorry. No, not today.
as you can see, we are back in the shop. It is Wednesday morning. I started the morning off with, I call them a sniff because that's what Lucy likes to do when we go out in the mornings. It is my favourite time of year for going for walks around that park. It's just, the weather is absolutely stunning at this time of year. There's heaps of flowers in bloom, so it's really colourful and pretty. And then if you look hard enough, there are lots of little baby birds and duckies around the pond. I actually couldn't see any today because I couldn't get close enough to where I know that the little babies have been sheltered because there was a few cars out in the car park. But there are heaps of little babies around there, and the birds are just so loud and noisy as we're walking around the park. It really is a nice time to go out into these sort of parklands. So we did that. I got home, I had a shower, had my daily injection, and then I had some breakfast. Hubby actually made me some toast this morning for when I came back out the shower. So I had some toast and a cup of coffee, sat out in the back balcony and read my book before coming down here. Didn't do any filming yesterday. After I finished up on Wednesday, I just did some more computer work. I then spent the evening with hubby sitting and watching a bit of telly and stuff like that. Tuesday he had off, so he took me down to go and get my laser therapy down. I've been getting it at Adobe in Cleveland, and it's been absolutely wonderful. It's really cleared all of my chin up so it doesn't look dirty and all that sort of stuff. We've been doing a combination of laser and electrolysis. The laser, we started off doing it every 1 to 2 weeks, and now we're up to about every 6 to 8 weeks. So that's been a really good improvement. And the electrolysis we've been doing is, again, started off every 1 to 2 weeks, and we're now up to 3 weeks. The electrolysis gets rid of the white hairs, and the laser gets rid of the black hairs, all from this hirsutism that I've got. So it's been so good. Have so much more confidence. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't look dirty. It's just given me this whole new lease on life having this actually sorted out. So it's been really, really good. After we'd gone and done that laser treatment, we had a few things that we needed to go and do. I needed a new paper shredder because my old one had just given up the ghost. We went and got a bit of lunch, and then I wanted to go and check out a place called Golden Circle. I was hoping that they might still have, I've got these big jugs. A lot of people always ask me where I get them from. They're like clear around the top and then red bottoms and handle, and I get them from this place called Golden Circle, which is a factory outlet shop. Unfortunately, they didn't have any, but we were able to go and get a few other little bits of groceries and things like that from there. And then we came home, and I decided I needed to clean off the back deck where I was sitting having breakfast this morning. As much as I love our little birdie friends, they don't half make a mess of that balcony, and it was time to actually get the gurney out, get it all cleaned up. I also wanted to get rid of a couple of the things that had been sitting on the balcony, so we did all that in the afternoon. And then we basically sat and just relaxed for the rest of the day. And then here we are on Wednesday. I've got about half an hour until I open up. While we were at Golden Circle, I got myself some pumpernickel because I haven't seen that for ages. If you don't know what it is, it's this really thick, I think it's German. It's a bread, a really dense bread, and they're literally tiny little slices, but it's really quite filling, and it's actually quite good for you as well. So I got myself some pumpernickel yesterday. I'm going to go and pop over into the main supermarket. I'm going to go and get myself a little bit of goat's cheese, or if they've got it, I'm going to see if they've got some sheep's cheese because that's a bit better on my stomach, and that will be my lunch for today. I might go and see what fruit they've got as well, so I'll be back in a bit. Yep, I've got about 25 minutes, and then we'll get stuck into this working week because we've got to get onto Halloween and all sorts. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago I did a video where I showed my new soap molds that I got from off of Seasun Soaps and Cutters, and this was the little mini one that they sent me to try, and it is literally half the size and it just makes such a cute little loaf. This one here is my sugar and spice soap, and I've had a lot of requests to remake this one. There will be a video coming out on how I do it, but because I'd had so many requests to actually remake it, I decided to make a full loaf and then a little half loaf. So we've got 1.5 loaves of soap. So we've just unmolded that one. We'll grab the cutter and we'll cut this one open. But this is just such a awesome little size mold. Okay, so the only thing with this particular mini loaf that I've made, and this isn't a reflection on the mold, this is just me, I saved too much white to do the piping with. So you can see there's actually a big difference between how deep this bit is, but this one does have more piping on, so they are actually going to be the same weight, but they are going to look a little bit different. So this little half loaf, this may actually become available maybe in little gift packs and things. We will see. We're all lined up, got my little soap pens, through we go, but we have got that very similar design on the inside. Love how it's come up. What I'll do is actually leave these ones sitting on the side for the day before I end up stamping them. I often get asked how soon before I actually stamp and trim up my soaps, and it really depends upon the actual soap itself. This one's still a little bit soft because the fragrance oil did behave quite well, which means that it's just taking a little bit longer to harden up. So if I try and stamp this one straight away, it's gonna not be very crisp, clean, and that sort of thing. Sometimes I've unmolded soaps and they've been really hard to start with, and then I can mold them straight away or stamp them straight away. That one has got some gorgeous swirls in it. So it really just depends upon how the soap feels when I actually cut them as to when I stamp them. This one is going to need at least until this afternoon, and possibly may not be able to stamp it until tomorrow morning, but we'll see what happens. Let me go and clear this lot out of the way, and then I need to clear some space from off of the soap rack so that I can put these Christmas soaps, but all these Halloween ones in here are now actually ready, so I'm going to get those off today and we're going to get those wrapped. I also have that oh dear, I've forgotten what it was called, that clay that I used, glacial clay, there it is, it's come to me now. That one is ready to wrap up as well, so I'll be doing that today. This one I'm not sure about. It's been on my rack now for about 2.5 months, but I messed it up and I think it's got something like 20% super fat in it, so I'm going to leave this one sitting here probably until a bit closer to Christmas. It is starting to really harden up now, but I did really mess up. I was using some leftover, I'd done an oil infusion of calendula and chamomile for my Bides balm, and rather than throwing away the botanicals, I used them in a soap, but I forgot to discount the extra weight of oil that was actually sitting in the botanicals. So that extra oil that was soaked in those botanicals became part of the super fat, and when I actually calculated it out, I think I worked out it was about 20 to 22% super fat or something. So we'll see how this one goes. It is hardening up really well now. It's definitely not squishy, but I reckon another 2 months on the rack there and I'll be able to give it a try and see what happens. But I'm gonna get, those are all still got a couple of weeks left, and then we've got some Christmas ones too, but I'll get these Halloween ones off and wrapped so we've got room to put the Christmas soaps. So it's about 20 past 1. I am sitting down at last for a lunch break. Things have been busy in here, and those little Halloween soaps took me far longer to actually wrap than I anticipated that they would. I've had quite a number of customers coming through. I've also had lots of people popping their head in asking me what's happened to the cafe and the barbers, which does take up a lot of time of my day, answering all these questions about other various shops. But the soaps, the little mini soaps I didn't realize I had so many. I've got almost 150 mini soaps there. So I know they're going to sell, because last year I actually ran out, and I've had a lot of people already putting reserves in for the mini soaps. So they're all done. I had to also redesign the label to go on them, because when I ordered the new labels, I had ordered a slightly smaller size to make sure that they fit on the product that they do primarily go onto, forgetting that I did use them on all these other products and they've all needed to be redone. But I've got all that done. I attended to my emails. I had yet another copyright claim on one of my YouTube videos. It's getting really frustrating. I was using, when I first started my videos, I was using Kevin MacLeod for my music on the videos. Then they changed the way in which the credits had to be written, and it was just too long-winded, taking up too much space in terms of writing on the description boxes. So I moved over to using music from off of Ben Sound, and I stopped using Ben Sound because I have had that many copyright claims on my videos. Now, it's not that Ben Sound don't have the right to the music, they actually do. There are other people out there, dishonest people, who are claiming that it's music from off some other website, which the websites are pretty much bogus. They're just trying to make money off other people's videos, right? Because the thing used to be that they used to copy people's videos and upload them. Now they just go and put copyright claims saying that they own the music and that sort of stuff, when they actually don't. But it's always the Ben Sound soundtracks that I keep getting the copyright claims on. So I've stopped using Ben Sound, which is a shame, because they do have some good music there. But I get, maybe every 2 to 3 months, I will have a run of about 2 to 3 weeks where every day I get a copyright claim, and I'm going into the videos to find the music, go and find where the link is, and all this sort of stuff, and it takes so much time, and then you've got to wait for them to release the claim, and all in this time they hold the money that you should be paid for the advertising on there. So I actually did stop using the Ben Sound soundtrack, and now using the music on YouTube Studios, and I haven't seemed to have had any problems on my most recent videos using that music. So hopefully as they start to trickle out, we'll get that all fixed up. I am going to be writing to Ben Sound, because they do have something on their website to say that if you are getting copyright claims, to let them know, so that they can go and find these dishonest people and get them, I don't know, in trouble. For the simplest way of putting it, but I've done that. I'm going to sit and eat my lunch. I've actually just got some goat's milk, cheese, and some honey on some biscuits. I had 2 biscuits left from last week, so I'm going to eat that before I eat my pumpernickel. I have tried my mandarin, it's really nice. And I've got one more chapter of my book to read, so I'm going to sit and read my last chapter, eat my lunch, and then I'm going to do up I've got the shipping labels to do on my parcel. And I don't think I really have much time for the rest of the day to do too much more on my board. I might be able to do my body wash, but what I'm thinking I'll more than likely do, rather than making the products, I might work on the labels for my Halloween products instead, so that they're all ready just to print once we make the product. But I'm gonna eat my lunch. So I'm going to print up my shipping labels, and one of the things I said about the Mumbin printer was one of the disadvantages that I said was about the number of labels it wasted when you loaded a different size. I was starting to get a bit frustrated by it, and I decided to do a bit of research into it. I double checked that I was loading it per how the instructions said, and I was doing it correctly. But I went and did a bit of research, and Mumbin have actually put out, I believe it was a TikTok video that came up on Google for me to watch, and they've given an alternative way of loading your paper into the machine so that you don't end up with all that wastage. So according to the book, you thread it through the back You bring it up to the edge of the machine, you close it, and then it does its thing, and you always end up with this one wasted sticker. What they've said is an alternative to loading them so you don't get that waste is when you load this in, I'll see if we can get you closer, only bring the paper up to where that sort of green light is on the box, like so. I'll just make sure my little things are tight enough. Alright, so we brought it up to roughly where that green light is, and we're going to close it. Now this is going to flash red, but if you grab your sticker at the back and just gently push, it'll eventually feed it through, and off we go, and no wastage. So I only actually discovered that about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I wish I had known when I did the original 2 videos, because I would have put it in there, but I was loading it how the book says, and nobody from Mumbin actually picked that up either when I did the video. I wish someone had have, or had said go and watch this video before you do yours, so we could actually show people straight away when doing these reviews how to load that machine in the alternative way that they've said, so you don't get the wastage. But I now know how to do it. I don't get any wastage, and I am super happy. Okay, so I've got a couple of minutes until I need to go and grab everything from outside, bring it in, and then head on down to the post office to send my orders off. It's been interesting while I've been working on doing my Halloween labels on the computer. I've had a couple of emails come through. One of them has got me in a bit of a fluster because I want to try and work something out before it's too late. My insurance company have come back to me saying that the people that they were doing the insurance with are no longer renewing policies, so they've had to go with another sort of sub company to do the insurance through. But I'm thinking if that's going to be changing, it may be a good time to see if I can find an insurer who will insure me to send over to America. I'm going to double check with this new insurance cover that they're sending if I can. We'll see if we can try and get that arranged. I've only got 2 weeks to arrange this, so it's pretty poor of them to tell me 2 weeks before it runs out that there's this major change in my cover. But anyhow, we'll get that sorted out. Anyhow, I've probably been rattling on long enough that I can now go and close the door, do the post office run, and then head home and come back into the shop. And tomorrow I'm definitely going to start working on the Halloween stuff. we have started the day off well. I actually did have a sleep in, and then when I did wake up, I sat out the back balcony and ate my my breakfast, read my book. I've actually just started a new one. I've just finished a series which had about 16 or 17 books, and I'm waiting for the next ones to come out. But I just started a new one. Has anyone seen that series on Netflix called You? Well, I watched that and then I realized it was a book, so I've been and got that, and I've just started reading it last night, and it's really good. And from what I've seen so far, the series and the book do actually match up pretty well, so really excited to see how that goes. So I did that this morning, come down the shop, and the first thing I needed to do was get some of my solid dish soap on the go, because it uses a powdered surfactant which can get easily airborne. I like to start them before I open the shop up, give myself about 15-20 minutes so any airborne powder can settle back down again and doesn't irritate people that walk in. I can wear a mask, but people walking may not appreciate having to wear a mask while I make stuff, so always try and do this one first thing in the morning. Comes in a little aluminium tin. It doesn't rust. It's a really good quality aluminium. I've got one of these sitting on the sink at home which I keep refilling, and it's been refilled about 3 or 4 times and it just hasn't rusted on me. And talking of refilling, that's what this really big container was. This is the one that sits on my sink out the back there. It was completely empty, so I've just refilled that one. I do need to leave it sit on my bench for at least 24 hours to cool right down and harden up. It's soft when it goes in. This one's mine. You can see it's really soft, but by tomorrow, this time tomorrow, that will be really hard and I won't be able to push my finger into it. So that needs to rest there. While it was all cooking, I started doing my Halloween labels. So here are my Halloween labels. Really pleased. This is just for the body wash. Super happy. I use a combination of Adobe Illustrator and Canva to do all of this, and then use all the different fonts and things I find in the Adobe software here. So really pleased with how they've come out. So now that I've got the labels all done, it's time to make the body wash. I did change my body wash recipe. I did a video a while ago about a recipe I shared on Patreon where I did a hot process cream style body wash. There were a couple of problems with that recipe in that it did take a very long time to do, and if you didn't make sure all of your surfactants were well melted down, it was a very temperamental recipe, so there were a few little issues like that. Plus it was also very temperamental when it came to fragrances. It loved some, hated others, and then you could use one fragrance from one company and then use the same named fragrance from another company and they would behave differently. I wanted to use some different fragrances to what I was using, and I found that this cream recipe just wasn't behaving with some of the fragrances that my customers really wanted. So I ended up reformulating, and I did a cold process body wash instead. So what I can do is actually make a base, and then I always have a base bucket of this stuff sitting out the back, so I can just pull it out and make whatever body washes I need to at the time. Obviously that needs filling up. It holds about 8 kilos of body wash in there, so we'll need to make some more. This recipe was also given to my patrons as well, so that they could actually decide which particular recipe they wanted to go with, and both of those recipes are still available. They are in the vault section, and if you are there, I do highly recommend using the simple body wash recipe out of the two. It is far less temperamental. In fact, I haven't actually found a fragrance oil that it doesn't react nicely to so far, so it's been really good. So I'm going to use what's in there to make at least one of those fragrances up, and then I will need to make another batch of this, and it will probably be about lunchtime. Okay, so I've got about 5 minutes until I go home. I have cleared all my bench off, so it is nice and ready. It's been a really productive afternoon. So I got all of my body washes done, and this has to be my favorite. I am so super happy with the labels on these. I was trying to be clever with this one, but I think my body wash is just a little bit too thin to do it. I was trying to get a combination of 2 colors in here, but it didn't really work. But I do like the color that has come up. It looks really amazing, and not all of the coloring actually blended in because I was using some oxides, but I think that really adds to the whole look, and once it's in the shower it's not going to stain. I like this one too, my witching hour. I just had to check, I thought I'd spelt it wrong there. This was one I did last year, and absolutely everyone loved this fragrance, and they asked if I could do it again, so we've got that one. And as I said, this has to be my favorite label. It's so bright and happy. I'd been wringing the absolute life out of the cartridges in my label printer, and mainly because a lot of the labels I was printing was very simple, basically just the logo black and white printing, so I wasn't doing anything too crazy print wise. So it'd been blinking at me probably for about 3 weeks that it wanted new cartridges in there, but I basically have wrung them out, and I decided, seeing as I was going to be doing some rather in-depth label printing or some rather detailed label printing, I would put some new cartridges in, and I'm really pleased I did, especially with how that one's come up. It looks so good, it smells really good as well. So I got all the body washes done. I have also just done the labels to fit these jars, so we'll do some body scrubs to match in with these. I was contemplating what to do about about the lotion. I was going to do a lotion in a 250ml bottle, but something in my head is saying it's Halloween, it's one sort of day, it's not a whole season. 250ml might be a little bit too much as a body wash for someone to have sitting in their bathroom. Not body wash, a body lotion. So I was next contemplating whether to get in some 100 gram pots, which would be a special order, or tonight when I get home I'm going to see how many of my standard pots I have got left. So normally I use these pots to do my moisturizers in. They're about 150ml, I think they are, and I've only got 8 of them in my bucket here, and I think I'm down to the last bit in my box, so I have actually just contacted my supplier and put in another order. I've been putting it off because you have to put in for over 1,000. It's like every time I want to go and do it, something else comes up, so I bit the bullet and I've actually put in another order for those because I'm going to need them anyway. But now I'm deciding, if I've got enough of these at home, I will do my Halloween lotion. I'll make it a moisturizer and in here. Otherwise I'll have to sit and think about whether I want to do a big bottle or 100 gram pot. We'll wait and see what I find out tonight. But that's those bits of Halloween done. I made a soap, and the reason I did the soap, and I've not really filmed it other than for on here, is because it's like a little last minute soap. I got a notification on my phone to say that a delivery had been left at the house, and it was one from Wickedly Good, so I'll bring that in tomorrow and show you what I've ordered from her. But when I was ordering this one thing I've been wanting from her for ages, she's been teasing me on Messenger with it, showing me all the updates and things. When I went to go and order it, I spotted a soap stamp on there, and it wasn't a soap I had planned, but I see so many people doing it. I absolutely love it. I saw the stamp and I threw that into my basket as well. So tomorrow I will bring down my parcel from off Wickedly Goods and show you what I've ordered, and then this soap that I've made will all make sense. It's not going to go up onto YouTube as a full video because it is very, very basic as a stamp, as a soap, but you'll get to see it here, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this soap as well. I'm really excited about it. I think I can go and get I can go and get all my stuff in from outside. It has gone a little bit overcast, but the market hubby and I are going to this afternoon is an indoor event, so we should be right to do that, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll be back in the shop tomorrow. Good morning. It is Friday morning. We're down in the office. It is a dull, miserable, grey day out there. So Lucy and I haven't actually gone for a walk because when we woke up at 5 o'clock, or when she woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning, it was thundering and lightning, and there was a real good storm going. She woke me up because she doesn't like storms. She wanted to get on the bed, and with the new floors, she can't actually jump onto the bed. So I had to get up and help her get onto the bed. And then this morning when I went back to sleep, woke back up at just before 6 o'clock when I usually get up to take her out, and it was still raining, so I stayed in bed for a minute, and then I got up. I've just got to make myself a cup of coffee. We did go out to the markets last night. It wasn't as good last night as what it has been in the past. I think because it's been so cold, it's been really quiet at the market, so there weren't as many stall holders there. But we still had a really nice dinner, had a wander around. My favourite spice people are down there. They've got the freshest smelling spices I've had in a long time. So I got what I needed from them, and I got Lucy Lou some treats. Needed that. So it wasn't bad. We had a nice dinner as well, so that was all good, but I'm pretty full from last night's dinner, so I'm just going to have a cup of coffee this morning, and then I'll have some fruit for morning tea if I'm hungry. So I'm down in the office. Usually I'd sit and read my book for a bit, but there's just a couple of things I want to do on the computer. But first of all, I thought I'll open one of 2 packages that were actually delivered yesterday. I wasn't expecting the other one to be here, but I'll open that one down at the shop. Well, I'll show you what's in it when we're down the shop, because I did actually open it last night so hubby could see. But I want to get into this one. And Lee said that she was going to wrap this one, or see if she could wrap this one interestingly, which she has. Let me get out of the bag. That's that. I'm going to open this one first because I think these are super cute. Let's see what else is. It feels squishy. It shouldn't be squishy. I like this paper, Lee. It's nice. Oh, that's why it's squishy. It's in bubble wrap this time. Last time everything came in a box, so it wasn't needed. She has been making, she's got all sorts on the website, and she started making these sublimation cups, and I saw one a while ago that was just absolutely perfect for hubby. It's something he always says about people, so I got him this cup, and then I'd been eyeing this cup off as well, and I just had to get it because it's just me to an absolute T. And it says, went outside today, it was cold and there were people, 0 stars, do not recommend. I love that. Like, don't get me wrong, I am sociable with people, but there are some days where I just don't want to go outside, and I can't be the only one. There's days when I just don't want to go outside. We'll be out doing shopping and stuff, and I'll say to hubby, I've done enough peopling, let's go home. But I'm just like, that cup is just so perfect. They're really nice size as well, and really like these mugs. So I've got myself that one, which will stay here at home, because I don't really need people in the shop seeing it saying I don't want to socialise. But I do like her. She's got lots of really good sayings, and there's some there's some rude sayings and there's some good ones. Here is the stamp that I ordered. Let's cut my face out so it doesn't keep focusing on me. See, we got a Grinch stamp. So I couldn't resist when I saw that on the website. I thought, I have got to get that Grinch stamp and make that soap just as a last minute thing. And my sort of plan is, because of those one lot of sugar and spice soaps were a lot smaller, I did the 1.5 loaves so that I would end up with a half loaf of this Grinch one. And I am going to do some mystery packs. So there'll be a couple of things in there, but there'll be some mystery packs of naughty or nice soaps. And you won't know until you open it whether you have got a sugar and spice or the Grinch that stole Christmas. So that's my sort of idea behind that. So that's going to work absolutely perfectly. And this is the reason I'm actually opening this one at home, is that I don't have to take this all the way into the shop and bring it all the way back. It will eventually go down to the shop. In fact, it will travel with me everywhere. Oh, Lee, that's lovely. Always happy to keep pushing and to keep nagging you. I can't wait to see this. She first messaged me about this ages ago. I knew she was working on this, and she kept messaging me and I kept saying, when's it going to be ready? I want one. When's it going to be ready? And I've been pestering her for absolutely months for it. This one's not it, but I saw this and I had to have that as well because my previous mat was pretty disgusting, as I said earlier this week. So I ordered myself a new soap mat and I went for the rainbow one to kind of go in with the whole Pimp My Soap rainbow colour range. So that is going to go on my desk. But this is what I've been pestering her for, and so, oh wow, this is nice. I am not a huge calendar diary sort of person, and I worked out this year what it is. I have never found a diary or calendar that I have truly liked and have enjoyed using. If I enjoyed using it, I would use it. Anyway, at the beginning of this year, I did find a diary in TK Maxx, and I've used it every single week right up until even now. Usually I give up using diaries by about March or April, and I was looking at it and I realized it's because I actually like the format it's in. And when Lee sent me pictures of what her planner was looking like, it was in almost an identical format with basically, yeah, it was identical format, but with extras that I think will be very useful. And this is it. This is one of 3 designs available. Again, I went with the color because of the Pimp My Soap. I've been pestering her so much to get this online. I didn't want to pester and see if she could put my logo on it. So I went with the rainbow one. She's also got that classic Australiana because she does like that one. And then there was a geometric shape one as well, and she's been messaging me asking me little things. So I said I'd love a little pocket in it to be able to put stickers, and I often keep things like my scripts in the front of my diary because my diary goes everywhere with me, and now I'm having to fill a script regularly. I keep that in the front, so I said a nice little pocket in the front to keep those sort of things would be really nice. But the rest of this is all on her. It's beautiful quality paper, so well printed, beautifully bound. This is a hard cover on here as well, and I do like, the one bad thing about my current diary is that it is flat. This one's going to be awesome because I can fold it back and it won't take up too much room. So we've got your at a glance, it's all tabbed for your months. At the start of the month you've got sort of your goal setting, what you want to do. Oh, we've got some goal prompts. Oh, I like that. And then we've got a big sort of, so you can do your planning, but then you have also got, oh, brain dumps. I need that. And then we've got it all broken down into the day. And what I really liked about my current diary is I had spaces on either side to write to-do things that I didn't necessarily want to commit to a day but needed to be done that week, so I could actually scribble it down, and that's what I have got all on here. She's also done a lot of mental health stuff in here as well, so you can schedule in time for your self-care, things to remember, things like that. It is absolutely stunning. Love the colour. She's even got at the end of a month just kind of a, I'm not going to show you all the pages because people have been ripping off her work, which I think is really unfair, but she's got at the end of the month there is a collaboration of everything as well. It is just so well set up. It is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and I highly recommend if you are looking for a planner for next year, go and take a look. So I'm trying to close it back up. I flipped too far through. Go and take a look at it on the website. It is very, very, very reasonably priced, considering how much you see good planners like this in places like Officeworks. I think this is far better than anything you're gonna find there. And no, I'm not just saying that because it's Lee. This really is going to be absolutely perfect, and I think I will be using this one again all next year. So thank you so much. Oh, I like that. February goal prompts find a new podcast to listen to. Yeah, I think I will like that. And look, every goal. Oh wow, there's lots of different goal prompts on here. Oh, I like some of these. These are things that, yeah, I really should actually be doing. So, oh, that's absolutely brilliantly. I'm going to see how many of those goal prompts I can do each month next year. Because they are just absolutely amazing. Some things in there I probably wouldn't have even thought of doing myself. I can see one on June that you've done probably more for yourself, Lee, than it is for me, because I do that for dinner every night and I get cranky if there aren't any. So if you want to know what it is, you're going to have to go and buy yourself one of these diaries. Can we get to 2023 already? I'm over 2022. I've been too busy. I want to get into this diary. It is absolutely fantastic. As I said, I do have a couple of things I need to do on the computer before I head off down to the shop. I will show you the other parcel when I get there. I was actually really surprised it was here when I got home last night. So I'm going to get this bit of work done up on the computer and then I will head down to the shop. I'll probably leave 10 minutes early because of the weather. It is a bit miserable, though I'm pretty sure it's school holidays, yet my husband told me it's not. I don't know. Let's have a quick look. Oh no, hubby is right. We'll give him this one. Today's the last day of the school term, so it doesn't really answer why the traffic's been so quiet for me. And also the shop usually is quiet in school holidays, and it's been busy enough, but it has been quieter than it's been for the last couple of weeks. Maybe people are just gearing up for school holidays. Anyway, I'm going to get some of this work done and we'll be down the shop in just a moment. Okay, so just as I was leaving the house and coming down to the IGA roundabout, I remembered I was completely out of water down at the shop, and if I want to make lotions and creams today, I needed to stop. So I quickly popped in there, still got 5 minutes till I have to open. I did notice they had these Belvita biscuits on special. I like to have them in our cupboard because both hubby and I will pick them up to eat with yogurt and things like that as a really light breakfast. So I grabbed some of those. I had to bring down some more paper bags, so we've got all of those in here. I have some ground coffee in my great big box. Someone stays at my hubby's hotel and they bring in bits and pieces, and this time around they've brought in some Papua New Guinea ground coffee. No one else was taking them, and I said bring them home. There were actually 3 bags. I kept a bag of this one at home to drink. It says it's got notes of dark chocolate, orange and caramel marmalade. It sounds really nice, so I'll drink one of those. And then I often use these ground coffee mixes to go into my coffee soap and my coffee scrub and things like that as well. So it's really smells really good, and these really nice specialty coffees do give that extra smell to the coffee scrubs, but probably are a little bit too expensive to buy to go into the coffee scrubs. But given I can't drink all 3 packs quick enough before I know he'll bring more home, I thought, well, we'll bring some home, bring some in for the soaps and scrubs, and then I'll keep one myself. Almost got all my, they're all over the floor. Oh well, okay, I'll pick them up in a minute. I'm almost at the bottom. Here's the other order I was telling you about, and here are my containers. I brought them in. I do actually have a few more in here than I was thinking, so I'm going to give them a quick count, and if I feel that I've got enough to last me, because my order it will actually take 6 to 8 weeks to get here, because they go, the place I order them from goes direct to the manufacturing factory, so it usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to get them manufactured and sent through. But if I've got what I feel is enough there to last me, I may actually do my Halloween moisturizers in here, so I'll count them out in just a minute. But it is pretty much time for me to go and open the shop up, so I'm going to go do that. I have just done a quick count of those. I've got over 100 of them available. I've just checked my backup stock and I do have enough there to replenish the shelves as they are selling. So hopefully I won't run out of my normal everyday moisturizer, because I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to use these ones to do my Halloween. I'm now going to do a moisturizer rather than hand and body lotion. I just feel that they're a better size. I did have a look last night about getting some 100-gram pots in, but again, that's just extra stock I have to get in that is not part of my everyday range. So I'm trying to reduce how much sort of extra stuff I purchase for special occasions. I just want to try and keep everything that I use as current stuff, because then you can buy them in lots of 1,000 and stuff like that. So I'm going to stick with these. I think I will definitely then have enough for that 6 to 8 week time before my new batch arrive. Even if I use, probably I'll make up, I don't know, 20 to 30 of them to start with, and then just make them as they're needed. I'm pretty sure I should be all right. And I love these jars. They are so much easier to label than the 100-gram jars that we get. And our 200-gram jars, as I said, with the ones I got from Amazon, all the 200-gram ones are these short things. So this is what we generally get here, as this would be our 100 ml, which I think equates to 4 ounces. So these are the 100 ml ones, and they're just too hard to label. And then these are what we generally get as a size for a 250 gram. And again, they're just short. The label, I just don't like labeling them, which is why I go for these special order ones, just to get that extra height. The labels look so much better, easier to present on the shelf as well, and you get a lot more depth, so you can have bigger writing. Whereas when you try and label these things, sometimes the writing is just so small and it's just, you can't read it. So I'm going to go for these ones. I'm going to take that risk that I am going to have enough to last me. So what we're in September, October, should get them by the end of October. Last time they told me 6 to 8 weeks, and I actually got them in 5 weeks. So fingers crossed that might happen again. Let me go and put these ones away. Okay, so the other parcel I had delivered last night was this one, and I really wasn't expecting it to arrive yesterday. When did I place the order? The 13th. So that was Tuesday I ordered this, and today, well, I got it on Thursday. So it's only taken 2 days to actually get that come in. So I'm super impressed. I've been looking for some new exciting fragrance oils. I'm on that sort of mission again. This company has popped up a few times. They're called Scent Method, and they've got on there that they are actually manufacturing the fragrances themselves. But when they first started and I checked them out, they were just yet another company that were manufacturing fragrances exactly the same as Aroma. And I said it before in another vlog, if I'm going to go and buy fragrances from a new fragrance supplier, I do not want to see Aroma fragrances, and I do not want to see Candle Supply fragrances either. They're the fragrances for those businesses. If you want to start a new business and you want to get your own fragrance oil range out there, be brave and go and get some new ones, which is what I love about the Fragrance Garden. And as much as I hate the iLux website, I do like the fact that she has different fragrances. You just have to be aware ordering on iLux that they are not always, they get taken off very quickly. You may order fragrances, you go to reorder, and they've just been discontinued, which is another really frustrating thing. But anyhow, when this Scent Method first started up, a lot of their fragrance, in fact all of their fragrances were Aroma ones, and someone did say to me they had something to do with the people who make the Aroma fragrances, and they went out on their own. I don't know how true that is, but I was looking at it the other day because I was looking for a cherry fragrance, and there's popped up in my feed again. I thought I'll just go and have another look, and I noticed they actually do have a couple of brand new fragrances that nobody else has. So I decided I would place an order. So I've got them in. The only thing is I ordered 100 ml bottles, and they've sent me two, let's see if I can find, like 2 50 ml bottles. I've still got 100 ml, but that is a lot more storage space. But what I do love, they've got these Safety caps on them. Love that idea. Love the idea of safety caps, because you don't want people picking these up and doing the wrong thing with them, so you can't twist them off. Means they're not going to leak when they were in transit and that sort of stuff. So love the caps. Hate the fact of being sent 2 50ml bottles. I would much rather one 100ml bottle to sit on the shelf. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. What I also love about the Scent Method website is that they have the full IFRA sheets on there, so you can go on and you can go and have a look at the IFRA sheets. When you look at the screen, what I discovered, I think they've basically used a template and everything says that it's 2% safe, but when you go and have a look in the IFRA reports, it actually tells you exactly what you can use. So some of these are saying they're only 2% safe, but when you look at IFRA, some of these were up to 6% safe in soap. So I decided to go ahead and order it. First one I got was a pineapple and mint. Oh, and it just smells, it smells like summer. It's got that pineapple, it's got that mint, and the mint's actually menthol, so it's not peppermint, spearmint. Well, peppermint is menthol, but you know, it's got that real fresh mint smell, whereas sometimes you buy mint and it's very lolly, sweet smell. This is fresh and clean, and it just smells of summer, so I'm looking forward to using that one. I got this one. I'm not going to smell it again. I'm just not going to do it. It will get used for Christmas. It's not bad, but it makes me feel sick. It is called Spiced Apple, and it's got that apple, cinnamon, clove, all that sort of thing in it, and it is very strong in cinnamon, and cinnamon smells make me feel sick. So I'm not going to smell it for you on camera because I really don't want to feel sick today, but hubby had a smell of it last night and he said it was good after I got yuck. But it's not necessarily that it's a terrible smell, it's just not one I can handle. This was another one I was really interested in. This is called Killer Python. Now, for those, I don't know if they have them overseas or not. They're an Australian gummy lolly, and you probably have all heard of snakes, like the gummy lolly that looks like a long snake. Well, Killer Python, they're my dad's favourite. They're like a giant snake lolly, but in the shape of a python. So I got these in, and it smells so good for a sweet fragrance. It smells, it's not sickly sweet, but it's got that sweet tone to it. And I'm thinking I'm actually going to use these. I'm going to make some cauldron bath bombs for Halloween, and that is what's going to go into them. And then this one really spiked my interest. It's called Polynesian Ylang Ylang, and it smells so good. Definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting that real strong ylang ylang smell. I'm one of those weird people that really actually like the smell of ylang ylang. I know a lot of people don't. My husband is one of them that doesn't. So when I smelled this and I said to him, smell it, it's not, you know, that strong horrible smell that most people associate with it. And he said he really liked it. And it does, it smells, the ylang ylang is in there, but it's not the most powerful of the notes. It's really gentle and in the background, so you get that sweetness of the ylang ylang, but you also get all these other florals come through. So can't wait to soak with that one and see what they're like. As I said, I'm going to use Killer Python in my bath bombs and see how it behaves, and I'll use the others in soap as well, and we'll see how theirs do. And hopefully Scent Method actually bring out some more new and interesting fragrances, and hopefully send 100ml bottles next time as well. So I'm going to go and get these put away, and then now that I've decided I'm going to make a cream for Halloween, I'm going to get that on the go as well, and we'll get these soaps cut and have a look at those. clean up out here. I did put the dishwasher on this morning, and I've kind of been dumping everything in the sink as I go. So I'm going to do a bit of a wash up here, put what can go back in the dishwasher in. I've just gone and got my my solid dish soap. You can see that it's much harder today, and with the solid dish soap you can actually use it in two ways. You can either use it if you someone who likes to use running water while you're washing up, you can do it that way, or you can fill up a sink with water and bubbles as well. I've only got a little bit of washing up here to do, so I'm going to do it with a little bit of running water, and I'll show you how I use it. So I've got this sponge here, but you can also use other sort of sponges too. All I'm going to do is get a bit of water going, take my thing, rub it over the top. So I've got some soap on there, and then I can start scrubbing things away like this. If I wanted to do it so I actually ran a bowl of water with some soap in it, all I would do is get my hot water running, put my plug in and hold that underneath until I've got some bubbly water going in my sink. So it's really simple, easy to use, absolutely love it. That tub will keep me going for about 3 or 4 months, I'd say. So what an afternoon. I've had quite a number of people coming through the shop. Few of them have been asking me when Halloween is going to be out. Probably not for another 2 weeks, because that's how long it is for my soaps which are on the curing rack to be ready. But I have been busy working on them. So we did do a 4 kilo batch of moisturizer today. So that will be ready for fragrance and colouring and potting up tomorrow. And then I did all of the labels, so they're all ready to go to make it a bit quicker. For the last sort of hour and a half today, I have been on the computer doing up all of my other Halloween labels. They're the things that kind of take the longest to do, you know, making sure everything's right and that sort of thing. So I find if I do them, like all of them at once, it's actually quicker than doing them as I need them. So they're all ready to go. Candles, melts, body scrubs, everything's ready to go on there. The only ones I haven't done are my lip balms, because I'm still waiting on their fragrances. I'm trying a new company someone has put me onto, and I ordered last month and they're still not here. So I'm really hoping they're going to get here, but nothing has moved on the UPS tracking thing since the 5th of September was the last tracking update that was on there. So I'm getting a little bit anxious now as to whether I'm going to get them in time. Luckily, lip balms don't take very long to make, but I need to test the fragrances first to make sure they're going to work. But hopefully we'll get them soon. Tomorrow when I come in, I'm going to stamp up my Grinch soap. I did do a little sample piece and I think it's going to work really good, but the piece I did was actually quite thin, so it was a little bit difficult to stamp, but I think once we do the big soaps they're going to look awesome. I was able to cross off my room and pillow mist because I discovered, well, I kind of remembered I had this feeling I'd already made them, and I went and double checked my overflow drawer, and sure enough they were in there. So that was something else I could cross off my list of not needing to do today or this week. So the only thing left on there is to make melts and the Halloween stuff. So tomorrow we'll get this these melt tanks swapped back over, so I've got my correct tanks out there, make sure everything is right to go. I've got to go and do a very quick delivery up the road. I don't usually do deliveries, but these are refills from Adobe, so you know, they're 2 seconds up the street from me, and the girls in there are really good to me as well. So I'm going to go and take that up, then I'm going to go home and just relax for the night, I think, because it has actually been quite a busy afternoon. So I'll see you tomorrow. It is Saturday morning. I'm in the shop about 15-20 minutes earlier than what I should be so I could get my foaming bath butter on the go. It uses sodium cocoa isothianate, which is a really powdery surfactant, easily airborne, and can really irritate the nose, lungs, throat, and that sort of stuff if you've not got a mask on. So I like to definitely use that ingredient before I actually open up the shop so as not to irritate my customers. So all that dust has settled and I've cleaned it all up. The pot is out in my back kitchen warming up because I've got things I want to do on this bench. We will be stamping the Grinch soaps this morning and making up potting up the moisturizer. And then I need to make some melts because a few of them are a little bit lacking or a little bit low in my box there, which means I need to get this melt tank all set back up again. Now, it's not a brand new melt tank. If you were following along on Instagram the other week, I had this day, everything was just going so horribly wrong. I'd had the tank on for probably about 15 or 20 minutes, so the wax wasn't melted, but it was just starting to get to that point where the bottom of it was melted and the top was still solid. And then my power point blew, so it tripped the power, and it tripped the power to the plug that's over there and the plug that's over here, which meant that my computer system wasn't working. Luckily, it's got a backup battery, but it meant my internet wasn't working either. So I called the agent to see if I could get the key to get into the power box so I could turn the safety switch back on again. And of course, nobody was available from the agent to be able to bring me the key, which I think is a bit of a safety issue. If we desperately need to get into that power box, there should be a key down here. If someone's, I don't know, worst case scenario, if someone's being electrocuted and the power's not tripped, we need to be able to get into that box to turn the power off. And they had nobody to bring me a key. So I had to close the shop and actually go down to the agent myself, which was about 20 minutes that way, so a 40-minute round trip. I had to go and get this key, and then when I got back I was able to turn the power back on and discovered my melt tank was the one that had actually caused it to turn off. I quickly got on to the website for luxury candle supplies where I had my tank from to have a look at how long ago it was I purchased my tank. And wouldn't you know it, it was 2 months out of its warranty. It's just typical, they always blow just outside of the warranty, don't they? But I thought, you know what, I'll write to them just in case there is something that can be done, so whether it is that there's someone I can take it to get it fixed. And I was speaking to James down there and he said to send the tank back and they'll get it fixed. Now, it did cost me almost $50 to send the tank back down to them, but they fixed it, they sent it back, and I was literally only without it for 2.5 weeks. So I'm now going to get this all set back up. What I need to do is actually melt the wax that is in my little silver one. So in the meantime, I bought down one of the old melt tanks that I used at home. I bought the big melt tanks because they're actually really just coffee urns, which have been altered so that they don't turn off when it thinks there's nothing in there when the wax is solid. And I didn't think they were very, I didn't think they'd pass all the testing to be in the shop, but I did keep it for emergency situations like this. So I've been able to still do my wax melts, but I'm actually going to get this one set back up. I have to melt that wax down so we can get it out, pour it back into this one, and in fact, that just seems a bit convoluted. Let's just melt the wax that's in there, make the melts I want to make, and then we'll set the big one back up. I don't know why I was making that harder than it should have been, but we've got it all fixed. And I'm actually going to keep my box. I'm going to take that one back home. I don't think they're going to go again, but just in case, because of course, because it was 14 months out of it, or 2 months out of its warranty thing, I'd actually thrown the box away that it had come in, thinking, you know, there's no point keeping it. And I needed it, so I had to do this sort of dodge job of putting it into a box to get it down there. So this time around, I'm going to keep the box for a little bit longer just in case. So I think I have to go and open up the shop now. It's really quiet out there. It's Saturday morning. It's a dull, grey, miserable day. Normally, now that the coffee shop's gone from next door, I don't actually see people in here until about 9:30. because of that, I have actually decided I will be changing the hours on my shop opening hours, and I have got a new shop opening sign coming, which I'm having printed up at Vistaprint, but it doesn't get here till next week. So I still had to open at 8 today, but I think from now on in I'll be opening at 8:30, just so I get that sort of extra half hour at home on a Saturday, which means I can walk Lucy on a Saturday then, which she will love. All right, let's go and get all this done. I absolutely love how these have come up. I'm so pleased I went ahead and did this design and saw that stamp on Wickedly Goods, and it stamps just beautifully. It's nice, crisp and clear. I have thought about putting some of the black liner in there, but I just think it's going to ruin it, so I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to finish stamping these up, get them on the cure rack, and I'm definitely going to do that idea of being naughty or nice. So I'm well and truly done for the day. It's 45 minutes past closing. I did shut the door, but I had to have a little bit of a clean up before I got home because things have actually been really productive this afternoon, even though I didn't do a lot of filming. I did end up wrapping up the glacial clay and menthol soap, so I've got some of that up on the shelf, the rest of it into the overflow thing, internet order sort of drawers. I always keep shop stock separate to internet stuff so I don't end up overselling, and for the most part it works. Occasionally I mess it up, but for the most part it does work. So I've got another space over on my cure rack. I have got the foaming bath butter there cooling down. It's got its preservative and everything in it. That's ready for next week, so I'll be able to make the Halloween foaming sugar scrubs. I actually think I'm going to make them on Wednesday. It was declared a public holiday for next Thursday, so I'm thinking what I'll do is make sure I've got all of my Halloween stuff made up by next Wednesday, and then I'll be able to take it all home, photograph it on that Thursday, ready to go up on the website at the beginning of October. I got all my melts done. So all of those ones, those sort of 8 from back there, they are to top up the containers. So I always have these ones on display, and then when we come down the bottom into this drawer here, I have all my sort of overflow spare ones, and I've got a few empty containers there, so we need to fill them up. This one here is for a advent calendar that I'm doing. It was a fragrance oil I got in to test to see if I liked it. I do like it, but I'm not enough to add it into my range. I'm looking for a really good coffee fragrance oil, and most of them smell very chemical-like. This one, it does smell good, but the company I got it from, I actually don't really like their fragrance oils. They've got some really nice ones, but I actually don't like them. I don't think they burn. They perform really well in wax melts, but I don't think this company's fragrance oils actually burn well as candles. The wicks always need changing for each of the fragrances. When I buy fragrances from off of Aroma to go in candles, I can pretty much be sure that any of my fragrances from off of Aroma, which are over there, will work with the same wick every time, whereas this other company that I got this coffee one from, every fragrance that I've had from them needs a different wick for the same size jar. So, and it always puts me off, because I just want to be able to pick my candles off the shelf and throw fragrances in and not really worry about it. So although I like it, I don't like it enough to warrant messing around with wicks to put it into the range. So I will keep looking, but I figured I'm going to do these advent calendars with melts this year, so I'm going to put those, or whatever I had left, those are going to go into the advent calendar. I then also had this sort of thing. I was going to make a soap. This is one of the Christmas soaps. I did have them all sort of drawn out and planned on here. I've done my sugar and spice. I want to do an Aussie beach style Christmas one, and I wanted to do this fire hearth one. I'm not going to show you what's on the other page behind it. There were 2 other soaps drawn up. I have done one of them, and then the other one that's up the top here, I'm actually going to leave it till next year because I can't work out how I actually want to do it. But you can see I've got this one here that's like a fireplace with stockings across it. I wanted to do like a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere style Christmas, so I've got this one here, and I just decided it's not too complicated. I've used the iDream in Soap extruder tools, and I've created the little fire and the stockings, so it wasn't particularly difficult, but I really wanted to do one off camera, and one where I didn't have to think about how the camera was angled. I also didn't know if it was going to play well, didn't know that sort of thing, and I wanted one less thing to worry about while I actually made this soap up. So I just decided it was a pretty quiet sort of last half hour in the shop, so I quickly made up the extruder shapes and I made up the soap. The top of it, this green, is meant to look like a wreath or something that's sitting on top of the mantelpiece. We will cut it tomorrow, so I'll show you that one, show you the cut on camera tomorrow. But I just decided that I just wanted to make a soap. So I'm really pleased with everything that I've managed to get done today. Tomorrow we will pack up all those melts. We'll also cut that soap if it's going to release out the mold. It is in one of the Nurture soap molds because I needed the divider things in them, which don't fit into my new CSUN mold, so occasionally we will still use those Nurture soap ones. It was a very well behaved fragrance oil, so I'm really hoping it's going to come out nice, but we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. I'm not going to stress about that right now. I am going to head home, going to do a little bit of work on the computer, just so I don't have to do as much on Monday and Tuesday, and also answer any or go back to any of the comments that have been left on today's video that was released. And then we'll be back in for final day this week, Sunday. I think it's meant to be a really nice day, and we've got the markets on as well, so I'm gonna head on home and go and do that. Hubby's on a mid shift, so I'll be home until about 9 o'clock by myself tonight. So after I've done a bit of work on the computer, I will more than likely sit and read my book. It's getting really, I mean, the series was really good, but the book is really just as good. I'm up to chapter 15. I'm about a third of the way through the book so far, so I'll be reading some of that tonight. So until then, let's go. Good morning. I got brave this morning. I put my t-shirt on from Print Me Pretty because it was quite warm, so hopefully it's going to stay warm until I can get home again and put on a warm jumper, but I did bring my cardigan just in case. I am very sensitive to the cold, so since I actually received these I haven't been able to wear them, but now that it's starting to warm up I do plan on wearing my t-shirts a lot more. We think we've also found out why I may be so sensitive to cold and not to heat, but I'm just waiting on a specialist appointment about it. A little while ago we did the caramel latte coffee scrubby soap thing, and when I went to pour the soap into the bucket my arm gave way and I almost threw the soap everywhere but in the mould. Luckily I did save it, but I'd been having a really bad week that week with this arm being sore, which I mentioned in the video. And then a couple of other things were happening as well that were really starting to concern me. And basically what it is every so often I lose all colour in the tops of some of my fingers, and I mean literally all colour. It's really weird to look at. There's no pink or anything in any of the nail beds, and it's been happening a lot this winter, so I was starting to get really concerned. I've had it happen in summer, which is very unusual from what I know, and I've had it happen a few winters before, but not as much as what I've had it happen this year. And it was, my arm was really sore. I'd had 2 attacks of this losing colour in my fingers in that 1 week, so I booked in to see my local doctor, and it turns out there's 2 issues. 2 issues, of course. So the first issue is she thinks I've actually got ulnar nerve damage. There's something happening up here or down in here whereby it's trapping the nerve and it's creating this pain, and at night time I get pins and needles if I'm sleeping on my shoulder wrong. So we kind of know, well, I've been able to pinpoint when that happened. It was many years ago, probably 12 or 13 years ago. I received a piece of equipment. This is before I did soap making and stuff, but we received this piece of art and craft equipment at home, and I picked it up, and although I picked it up with both hands bent at the knees and all of that sort of stuff, I think I must have pulled the nerves in this arm. But at the time I was on Roaccutane, and I had a reaction to the Roaccutane, and I developed some of the rarest sort of side effects of being on it. And the 2 of the rarest side effects, some people develop hepatitis, not the bad version, just plain hepatitis, the swelling of the liver, and the other really rare one is tendinitis. So because I developed this hepatitis, I think the thought was, after doing all these scans, that I'd got tendinitis as well, because this piece of equipment I picked up, it was 40 kilos, and no, yeah, close to 40 kilos. I remember that, and I picked it up with both hands, and it's sort of like, well, I would have damaged both shoulders if I'd done any damage, because, you know, I picked it up the right way. So this pain in here got put down to tendinitis, and not much was actually done about it. And now we're thinking all these years later, because the pain's always been there, comes and goes, and that sort of stuff. So pretty much that damage is now there permanently. But what they think this, the discolouring of my fingers is possibly Raynaud's disease or Raynaud's phenomenon. And we're just trying to work out whether it's primary or secondary. Primary means that it is just Raynaud's, there's nothing else. I just get these attacks of losing. What happens is when I'm cold, or when anyone's cold, your body contracts your blood away from your extremities into your inner organs to keep you warm. And in some people it happens so fast that it stops complete blood flow into your fingers, your toes, and it can affect people's ears, nose and things like that. And what it does is it takes all the blood away from those areas, which is why it goes white. And there's just no other way of explaining it. It does just look like that finger has died, and that's the end of that. But it does come back. Like once you've warmed up and it releases that blood, it does come back. It takes about, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds to do so, and it doesn't hurt. It feels funny, but it doesn't hurt. So that's primary. That's the only thing that's there. If it's a secondary, it means there's another illness that is causing the Raynaud's to appear. And when they did all my blood tests, they found all my SLE markers were out, and SLE is systematic lupus, really long word from what I can understand of it. And if it is that explains why I'm sensitive to cold. It explains why I've got all these aches and pains everywhere, which have always been put down to the PCOS, but is also linked to lupus. So short story is I've got booked in with a specialist. We're just waiting for the appointment to come through. It did say there was a 3-month wait, so we'll see what happens. But all that being said, let's go and get into Sunday, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, I need to go and open the doors up. So I'm going to open my doors up. I've got my coffee this morning. We're going to wrap up all of these melts. We will cut that soap a little bit later. I need to go and put the foaming bath butter away, and then we'll see what else the day brings. So any guesses to what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday when I'm back in the shop? We have got 14 jars of refills there. I've written down everything that she wanted on here as well. So we've got all of those. I'm giving them a bit of a soak now. I'll get them actually cleaned and ready for putting the wax in on Wednesday, because we've got that last minute public holiday. It's going to be a short week, so I need to get as much of it done today just to make it easier for next week. But yeah, I'll leave those sit there for about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes just to soak all that sort of wax out of it, and then I'll give them a clean up. Alright, let's get cut into this one. I'm only going to cut this as 17 bars because it has got an image on the inside. So I want each of my bars to have a cut end. So we'll get this one lined up. We'll get some nice chunky sample pieces to give out. Let's go about, in fact they're going to be huge sample pieces. That's okay. Let's see if I was able to get this to look the way I wanted. Oh, look, it is perfect for what I was trying to do. Oh, I am so happy. I actually love the shape my fireplace has gone. So I've used the I Dream in Soap little extruder tools. Just went and got them. So I used, this is the little fireplace set. She does a really big one as well, but I'm glad I went with the smaller one. So we've extruded each of the pieces, built them up, and then created the little flame in the bottom there, and then the little stockings are again with the extruder discs. We've got the little sock part and then the little white fluffy part to go on the top. So my sort of idea behind this was that we were going to have the fire sitting inside a black fireplace, and I put some grey in there just to make it look like there was some smoke kind of wafting around in the fire. We don't really want smoke in there, but you know, it's art. And then this around the outside, I kind of wanted it to look a little bit like brickwork. I didn't want to try and go for the whole white fireplace. I thought it would be a bit too hard to get all my lines. And then across the top here, that grey or the brown is the mantle, and we've got our stockings hanging off the mantle, and then a little wreath on top. I'm so super pleased with how it turned out. Absolutely love it. But I'm also very pleased. I'm sorry I didn't film it on camera, but I am actually pleased that I was able just to have fun with this one and make it up without that sort of pressure of filming it. I do have another sort of decorative one that I am going to do, and I will film that, and that will be the Aussie Beach Christmas. But now I know that, yes, Now I know what I'm actually doing with them. I'm so stoked with how it's come up, and I will film the Aussie Beach Christmas one, which I'll make next week. Absolutely love how it's come up. That one's a little bit out of center, but maybe my fireplace just moved. Absolutely love it. So I'll go and stick them onto a tray, and then I'll stick them onto the cure rack, and next week I will trim them up and stamp them as well. Though I'm a little bit loath to stamp them with my normal stamps. We might just put the S maybe in the corner on the side. I'll decide a bit closer to the date how I'm going to do these ones. I scented it with something called Winter Wonderland, and I think it's also got another name, Pepper something, and it's just got that sort of pine woody sort of smell, but it just smells like a warm crackling sort of fireplace without having that fire smoky smell. It smells really good. It just smells like Christmas to me. So really happy with this one. Okay, so I've got about half an hour before the shop is due to close up, and it's gone very quiet outside. Apart from them packing down the market, it has gone very quiet out there. When I first set my opening hours for the shop, I was very aware of what was happening around the market. I used to get people trying to buy stuff from me once I had everything in the trailer, and I'd have to pull it all back out and that sort of thing, because you just don't want to say no to people when they want to buy your things. So when I did my shop opening hours, I thought, well, because people are usually still trying to buy stuff up until 2 o'clock when I used to leave, I would stay open till 2, but I have discovered that most people have disappeared by 1:30, so the sort of last half hour I just sit here eating a snack, reading my books. That's what I am going to actually do for the last half hour. I've done everything I need to do in here, but once I get my new signage, which I have been told is on its way, I will get my weekend hours altered so that I'm not sitting around the shop doing nothing. I can actually be home doing stuff at home that needs to be done as well. It has been a busy week in the shop. I've seen quite a number of people coming through. It was like when I did my cash up, it was a lot busier than I thought it had been. But online has been very, very slow this week, which is why you've not seen me packing any orders. I've only had 1 or 2 orders come through, which is always the way. I'll either be really busy online or I'll be busy in the shop, but very rarely busy in both unless it's Christmas. So I'm not too worried. I bet we'll get some orders in next week. So that's one reason you've actually not seen me packing a lot of orders, and it's just the way business goes. But otherwise, I haven't done much filming today because I have had a lot of people coming and going, and I have just been doing all the really boring, mundane stuff like sweeping, mopping, putting stuff away and that sort of thing, planning out next week's jobs, which I've got a few of them written up now. So I'm going to sit down for the last, well, now that I've been talking to you, I've got about 20 minutes left. I am going to sit down, just have 5 minutes to myself before I head home, and hubby is on an early today, so we'll be able to sit and I think we might find a movie and have some dinner and just enjoy the night. So thank you so much for coming along with me this week. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, why not leave a thumbs up, any comments down below, because it does help the videos to get out there. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you then. Bye.